What's up, and welcome back to the channel for yet another FC Finch review, and we're doing yet another classic rewind, though we're kind of delving into mainline for this episode. We're taking a look at an oldie but a goodie. We're going to be looking at the Quintesson Pit of Judgment from the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy. And this came out about a couple of, probably when I first started collecting, so about 2 or 3 years ago now. I remember just seeing it on Hasbro Pulse. I pre-ordered it, and it's been in storage ever since. But we're going to take a look back and take a look at it today, and we're going to take a look at the packaging real quick. But as you can see, this comes with a whole slew of figures, so I'm going to get these off the table, and I will be right back, and we'll take a look at the box. And there we go, we got some space freed up, so let me raise up the camera and we'll take a look at the box. And you can see there it is right there. We have the Quintesson Pit of Judgment package. You can see it's got a very nice packaging inside of the whole Judgment Pit from Quintesson, that scene in Transformers the movie. We'll talk about that later on in the review. Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy, ages 8+, and from Hasbro, it is a Transformers genuine toy. We got Takara Tommy on there and the whole Generations logo, and on the top we got the Quintesson Pit of Judgment. Very nice logo. I actually love the whole box. The box is really, really cool. If you wanted to just leave this in the box, you absolutely could, and it would look absolutely great. Displays very well in the package. Again, we got some nice packaging with Quintesson architecture or landscaping on the side, and then on the back of the box, wow, what a scene. We got that scene from Transformers the movie with poor Kranix getting ready to be dumped into a pit of Sharkticons. We got the Quintesson judge, and of course the prosecutor and the bailiff standing judgment over poor little Kranix. Very nice scene from the 86 movie. And there we have some more architecture from Quintesson, and that's pretty much it for the box. We can get that off. We'll take a quick look at the instructions, and of course the instructions are very cool as well. I had these open previously, but you can see we start off on page 1. We have a nice shot of all that. You get the prosecutor, the Quintesson judge, the Kranix, we got the bailiff, and the Sharkticon. You only get one little Sharkticon, and then of course you got all the instructions. They're pictorial, as most Hasbro instructions are, but they are pretty straightforward. The transformations of this are pretty straight, and yeah, we can turn it around and we can see that the judge also transforms because it's Hasbro, and Hasbro thinks everything needs to transform. We have the faces of doubt, death, wrath, wisdom, and wit. And it's a good thing they listed these, because I totally do not have all these faces memorized. But if you do, let me know in the comments. And of course, we'll take a look more in depth in all of these real quick. But that's pretty much it for the box and everything that comes with it. So as you can imagine, this set comes with quite a few figures, so we're going to go through each of them one by one at a time. And so we're going to start off with the most lowly member of the Quintesson court, the Sharkticon. Of course, he's kind of their executioner of sorts, and but he is no less detailed. This is really, really good looking. So you have very nice, it looks like he's painted on his little shark face right here. It looks very nice. It's a very kind of dark bluish gray, and then you have a very nice purple all around the mouth area. It does look very good. It kind of has like a flake to it. It's just very nicely painted, this piece. Teeth are done in a light blue, and if you go, he's got this little belly right there. You got a Decepticon symbol for reasons, even though he's a Quintesson, not a Decepticon. And then of course you come back around, you can kind of see his hands peeking out. I mean, it comes with a 5-pack. What do you want? He's got the little mace right there, doubling as his little spiky tail. Got his little shark fin up there, molded in a light gray, and then of course he's got some molded detail on the side here. Just a fat little Sharkticon. As far as articulation goes, you can kind of make the mouth come down, but it does separate his face, which does become a seat, kind of untabs him, so you don't really want to do that. You can move his arms all the way around. They're on a very nice swivel. No ratchets on this guy, by the way. And you can move his mouth down like this on his lower jaw. That will move down, up, and down like this, mainly due to transformation, but you can move it just like his jaw. And you do have his legs on a ball joint. They can go every which way. They can go all the way around if you so desire. Same thing with his knees. They are on a ball joint. They can get a full back like that. Since they double as his arms, you can swivel side to side all around if you want. And of course, his little mace tail doesn't really move at all unless you remove it yourself. But that's pretty much it for him in shark mode. So let's get him transforming up. And to do that, what we're going to do is you're going to untab His mouth just basically tabs into these tabs right here, and then you can bring down his lower jaw right there. That'll become his little chest. You can fold back his hands, and then what you can do is you can pull his face around. By the way, I did forget to mention he does have some very clear green plastic for the eyes, which looks absolutely divine. Looks really, really good. This is a really beautiful figure, especially for coming in a 5-pack. You can kind of move his legs back, and you can see it does separate and become his legs. While you're doing that, you can, of course, take out his little mace right here. It just plugs in right here on this little quad peg right here. We'll move that off to the side for now. And then what we can do is we can move the face back and just move it all the way back. Same thing for the other side. And then you can move the arms down just like this at the base of his feet. And that is pretty much his feet all finished. And then what you can do is you can kind of bring this you move this tail out of the way. It just moves on this hinge right here. You can bring his head up, and you turn his head around just like that, and there's his little head. And then you can bring the tail all the way up. And the final step is you can bring the arm up on this hinge right here and just kind of plug it in like that. You can flip his elbow around. You can see his hands already there. Same thing for the other side. Bring that up on this hinge and just kind of push it in. There we go. And then you can flip the hand around, and I think that's pretty much it. There we have the Sharkticon in his little robot mode, and he does look really cool. I mean, his body's all rearranged. You got his head sculpt. He's got the kind of a mean grimace on his face. So a really nice green for the eyes, more of that bluish gray for his little helmet area. He does have kind of an open back area, but what do you want? I mean, it's a mainline figure. It's with a 5-pack. This does not bug me at all. And he has a little face peeking back out on the feet, kind of hollow in the upper legs, but it is what it is. As far as articulation goes in this mode, again, his head does rotate. His now arms, which are previously his legs, they do rotate on a ball joint. You do have to watch. Sometimes it does like to pull this out, and then of course you have bicep swivel, and then you can get a full nothing at the wrist. You move his arms up. He has no waist swivel to speak of, no ab crunch at all, but you can get a nice kind of a fusion kick, a little mini fusion kick, a little shin kick, and then you get a nice fusion back kick, and then you get a fusion out to the side. Look at that. Actually pretty mobile for the feet. And then of course he does have a knee that kind of gives you a full 90, but of course the shark face will get in the way. And you can rotate the arms for a reason. You can do whatever the hell you want with them. And that is pretty much it for his articulation. And of course, if you want to give him his weapon, you can of course give him his little tail right here. And he can, of course, swing that at people. And of course, you do get a little, I'm not sure if we should talk about this with the Judgement, but you get a little blaster thing. It is kind of painted. Actually, no, I'm not sure if that's painted. It kind of looks painted, but it looks at least cast. And you can actually give that to him since he has a spot for us. You can probably give this to the bailiff too, but not sure who is supposed to wield this. It says to put it on the bottom of the judge's chair. I know, spoiler alert, but there you go. And you can kind of arm him up, and that's pretty much it for the little Sharkticon. And he's actually a pretty cool little dude, especially given that he comes with 5 other characters, 3 of which would transform. But there we go for the Sharkticon. And we're moving right along to the bailiff, and of course this is the the kind of guy that was dragging Kranix away in the movie. And there we have the bailiff again. Very nicely done figure. You got the little spikes. Everything's plastic. Doesn't feel too sharp, so you won't hurt yourself. But it is done very nicely. You got the kind of the browns, all the greens and whatnot. Not as painted as the Sharkticon, but still a lot of nice detail. You got spikes all over. I mean, he does look really cool. You got a very nice kind of hot pink for his little face mask. Got the little teeth molded into his eyes and red. He just looks like one mean dude. You don't want to mess with this guy. You got the red there on the pink on there on the chest. He has little horns on his head, and on the back you got that spiky back that he had, and you got the little alligator head hiding back there. But it fills out the back really well. Actually, he's a pretty filled out figure except for the wrist area. But again, what do you want? It comes with a 5-pack. It's a main line. As far as articulation goes with this guy, you can swivel. The head is on a ball joint. It will swivel all the way around. It will kind of look up, kind of look down, just do all kinds of good stuff. The arm will rotate all the way around. You do have swivel just above the elbow, and then you can bring the elbow up to about a 90, and the wrists do rotate just like that. And then of course you can move his little plate out of the way of the pelvis, and you can get a nice fusion kick from the bailiff. You can get a fusion back kick if you bring it out on an angle, a nice fusion back kick, and you can bring it out on a fusion side kick, and there you go. You do have thigh swivel. You do have bicep swivel, kind of due to transformation, but you still do have it. And then, of course, you do have a 90 at the knee, and then you have some ankle tilt. Very, very nice, and that is just super cool. And he does come with one accessory. He comes with his little battle axe / mace, and these are done in kind of like a rubbery type plastic, so it does have kind of a bend to it. And it comes with the little mace, he comes with the axe, and you can of course plug these into his hands. Actually, can you? Yeah, you just gotta take some force to plug the axe in there, and you can plug the mace into the other hand, and he can swap people with that. Or what you can do is you can plug these both together, and they just plug together just like this. And you can actually give that to him. You can get this going on, just plug the axe into his hand, and it does take quite a bit of doing, but see, there you go. And then you just plug the mace into the bottom just like that, and now he has a dual wielding stick. I believe this was a stick that he could wield against Mr. Kranix when taking him, and that does look extraordinarily badass. So again, really cool little figure. And of course, he can also transform, so let's get him transforming up. And what we're going to do is we are going to take his weapons out, and we will get him transforming up into his Alicon mode. Now, to get the bailiff transforming up into his Alicon mode, what you're going to do is you're going to rotate the wrists so they're like this, and you sort of just make his knuckle facing out. Then you notice you got a tab right here. You have a slot right in here. You're just going to plug that in. It is kind of a tight connection. You got to use some force to get it in there. There we go. And watch out, because your hands do kind of get on his little spikes here, and then that starts to hurt just a bit. It is hard plastic. The same thing for this side. You're just going to plug in the little... There you go. You got to use a little bit of force, and you can have that going like that. Next up, you can fold this out just like this. And what we want to do is we want to start bringing out the alligator head, and that's going to free up some space to push down on his little robo head. And what you can do is you can kind of bring out the tail piece just like this. This is on a separate hinge up here, and you can rotate it on a peg right around here. And then as you bring that out, you're going to have space to rotate the waist all the way around. Then you can bring the legs out this way, and then you can fold his little pelvic piece back down just like that. They'll give us some room. And then you're going to bring the head all the way back, and you got two tabs right here. You're going to go into slots on his chest on either side. So you just want to bring it all the way back just like that. It pegs in very nice and firmly, and have his little Alicon head, and then you can bend at the knees right there. And then of course you can bring around his little Alicon arms, and there we go. There we have the bailiff in his little Alicon mode, and that does look very righteous. So that head looks awesome. It looks like it, I mean, you can tell it's like his faux chest on there. Got the nice red eyes. He got the very mechanical teeth, and his jaws do open quite widely to eat some stuff. Of course, same, his arms pretty much immobile right now, but you have his little robo arms, or his little Alicon arms on there, his little claws and whatnot, and those do look very, very cool. And then of course you have his feet, same feet, the word robot mode, just in a little bit of a bent position. I mean, he got his belly in there, but overall, and you do have this tail on the back, same thing that you had in robot mode, but again, just looks absolutely cool coming off his little back. As far as articulation goes, of course the head can't really do anything, but you can open the lower mouth, as we said before. You can open you get a nice wide open mouth like that. You can rotate the arms all the way around. They don't go in or out. And then of course the legs pretty much have the same movement as the legs. You can situate however you want. You can even still use the ankle tilt, which is pretty cool. And then of course you do have his little tail can go up and down. And as far as storing the axe of course does have a little tab right here on back, and you do do have the mace. You got to attach the mace, at least the instructions tell you to, and you do have little tabs right on here, and you could do it to either side, and that will store on his back, and that looks kind of ridiculous. I mean, technically he's supposed to have that, but either way, you know, you got storage if you so desire. And that's gonna be pretty much it for the bailiff. Again, one mean little dude. I absolutely love him. So there we go for that. And before we move on to the grand finale, we're gonna talk about the 2 accessory pieces. So first, we're gonna bring in the Quintesson prosecutor. He is just an accessory piece in this set, but he is done very nicely. You can see he's got the nice wide stance, the feed him to the Sharkticons. He has some very clear plastic on his head. This is really well done. I believe the head is painted. Got the nice red eyes, the green and the reds on the chest, and of course you have his little tentacles. They're made of rubber, but they don't really rotate or move at all. As far as articulation goes, you can rotate the head side to side. You can pull his head off if you so desire. Just kind of pegs on there. Same thing for his little energy piece, which is done in a very nice clear blue. Looks really good. Even got some detailing right here at his base. You can spin that around, and you can also pull that out so he can, I can't move! And yeah, there we go for that. I don't have, I'm not gonna bust out my Gigapower slag to the excuse me, but you can do that if you so desire, even with the SS86. And that's it for the prosecutor. And then of course we'll talk about little Kranix here, and of course he is the poor little odd man out in this set. He is the one that's going to be executed, and of course he is done in most. I believe this is paint on here, and then of course I'm not sure if he's all painted, but he's got the little light pink plastic right there. His little belly done, his little abs that kind of ribbed. He has a very nice molded detail all over. I'll give him that. It looks really good. I mean, definitely not void of molded detail at all. No gaps or anything. He just doesn't move at all. No real articulation to speak of. He does have a very nice gold strip of paint on his head and a very kind of solemn, don't kill me face or spare me this mockery of justice. But there we go for Kranix. And lastly but not least, you do have our Quintesson judge. This is basically the star of the show right here. And of course, these are face or 5 faces only a mother could love. And of course, we do have the face of death done very nicely. Got blue paint for the eyes and mostly kind of dark grays. It looks like painted dark gray for the mouth. Everything else looks really good. Lots of nice molded detail. This is, of course, this is everybody's favorite. I don't know anybody that doesn't like the face of death. Plus, his face is the face of death. How could you not love that? And then, of course, you have the face of wisdom right here. He does look like a very wise face, very evil, wise face, done a very nice green molded detail over. I got the blue painted on there and the green painted on there right here. I believe this is paint on the lower mouth as well. And then, of course, you have the face of wrath, one of the other more evil faces on here, and you see he's got some orange coloring right here. You just has some dark paint for the forehead. Very nice orange eyes. I love the orange eyes on this, looking really good. And of course, again, lots of nice mold detail. Got a little snarl going there. And then of course we have the face of doubt right here. You got those yellow doubtful eyes. Lots of nice deep bluish gray painted around here. I love how this is painted on. Just very nice molded spikes on the head. A lot of this set is just full of nice molded detail. Got even some vents here on his little cheeks area, just looking really, really good. And then of course you have the face of wit. Got the little slits for eyes, the nice red slits. And of course they got some red and some dark black paint on there, darkish gray on there for the forehead. Nice kind of molded cheeks there. That of course you have kind of a light baby blue on his little lower chin, beard. Then of course you have the top, nice molded detail all around, and again molded detail on the base right here. Then of course you have this nice very clear blue kind of blast, looking really, really good. As far as articulation goes, you can move the mouse on death. You can kind of move his mouth and go innocent. You can move the head on wisdom. I'm kind of looking at the instructions because I don't remember the names offhand. You can, and then of course you can move it on wrath. Silence or you'll be held in contempt of this court. Hey, I actually did that pretty good. And then of course the heads do rotate. On the only ratchet on this set, of course it gives off the ratcheting feel from the movie, as of course you can hear that clicking in the movie. And then of course the tentacles, they are done in kind of like a plastic, and you can, I'm not sure if you can kind of angle it. Yes, see, they don't really hold. And then, of course, they do have a swivel at the base. You can put them any which way you do desire. And then, of course, he does come with a few accessories indigenous to him. So you can, of course, give him his throne right here, and you can put him on it just like this. He can sit on his, or kind of stand on his own, hover on his throne, however you want to do it. And of course, the throne, you can store this little gun that you get. You can kind of take the throne, and you do have 2 peg spots right on here. You can just peg it right in there, so you can have a gun on the chair. He ain't taking no crap from nobody in this court. There is going to be no hostility here. You will be judged, but there we go for his accessories. And of course, for some strange, odd reason, this dude can transform. I'm never, ever going to do this when I have this set on display, but we will do it just for this review. So, first off, what we're going to do is you got to pull down right on here, and you can take his little, you can unclip his little boost right out there. Then what you can do is you can kind of pull off his little headpiece, and it comes with this little cage type thing. You're just going to pull it off, just pegs in right on here. And what you're going to do is you're going to trade places. You do have 2 pegs right in the base, and you're just going to put those in right there. That pops in rather securely, and you're just going to leave this off to the side for now. And then you can take our judges, you can just flip the faces up. They do flip up on the chin right here, and you can kind of bring this down. It's on a, you can just leave this out like this, and then you can take the face of Wit, bring this down, and you do have a double hinge for the rest of these. You can kind of bring it down and then bring it down just like this. Same thing for the rest. So I'm going to do them off camera so we can save some time. And one thing I want to point out is you do have a tab on each platform, and you do have a little slot that's going to just kind of seat them in place. You just want to bring it down in a double hinge and just bring it down all the way. Same thing for all of the slots. Just have them kind of almost perpendicular out a little bit. You do have 2 tabs on this platform and only 2 slots, so you can rotate the base however which way you want. So bring that down, and then you can just bring that down just like this. And you notice you have 2 clips here. That's because his throne transforms, and why would it not? So what you're going to do is you're going to untab the arm chairs, and then you can bring those out, and then you can bring this piece back here. It's just on a little swivel piece, and then what you could do is you could just plug everything in just like that, and you have a little platform. You can bring all of his little tentacles up like this, and then I don't know if this really tabs in. I have the heads as far as they can go, but you just kind of put his little cranium on top there, and there you go. And you have him in kind of like, I guess, a mini prison mode or whatever he's supposed to be. But of course, you can also take his little cage right here, and you can just kind of seat it right on here as well. And then of course, if you want, you can open the cage up. It does open right here on a hinge, and you could just toss Mr. Quintesson in there. He is just the guy that they beat on throughout the universe, and you can just toss him in there, and you can put him right here. And then of course, you can take the gun if you don't want Quintesson to escape, and the gun can just kind of peg right into the top right there. And again, this is like the only time I'm ever going to do this, but if you wanted to do this and have a mini prison in your big prison, you of course can. And that's going to be pretty much it for the Quintesson Judge. And last but not least, you do get the base of display, and we got to bring the camera up for this one just a little bit, but you can see this is how the box comes. It is basically has this entire background. You can double this as your base of display, or again, you could leave it in the box, and Quintesson is on here when you get this in the package. The judge is over here, and you do have all of the characters kind of in their position. So if you wanted to display this in the box without ever taking it out, you perfectly can do that, and it will look just as good on yourself. Me, I'm just a bit too impatient with my toys, but you can of course put the throne right there, and of course the Quintesson Judge right front and center. And he does get a little back heavy, but of course you can put Mr. Sharkticon in there waiting for a snack to eat. You can put the bailiff right off to the side, right over here. And then, of course, you can put the prosecutor right over to here. Execute them. And then, of course, you can put poor little Cranix right over here. You just kind of put him right up here so he doesn't fall into the pit. He's not ready to be executed just yet. And that is just too cool. Again, the set is mostly kind of a gimmick type deal, but absolutely too cool the way you can display them out like this. And again, you could either display them like this in the box or display them on your shelf just like this. And it does really look good. Really sets the scene for the movie. So let's summarize on the Transformers War for Cybertron Quintesson Pit of Judgment set. And overall, this set is really cool. I mean, it is a mainline set, but for a mainline set, it is really, really cool. There's a lot, they capture all the details on most of the bots. I absolutely love it. Some of the paintwork is really, really nice and utilized really well, especially on the Sharkticon and the Quintesson Judge. I love the little gimmicks like the moving mouths, and even though the prosecutor and Cranix are just little accessories, they are quite little quaint accessories. I do quite like them. I do quite like this set. And of course, again, for whatever your collection is, if you are a collector that likes to leave items in the box, this displays just as well in the box as it does out of the box. And I've even seen some people take scans of the box itself and kind of build a bigger Pit of Judgment for this exact set. But nevertheless, now, as far as where to get this set, I'm not too sure. It came out a few years ago. So I'll just put a link to Big Bad Toy Store just for reasons I don't know. I'm not going to link directly to the set because I don't know where to get this set. But if you are interested in mainline items, and of course this was Transformers, the movie holds a special place in your heart, as it does for most of us. This is definitely a cool set and will go well with your collection, even if you leave it in the box. And that is pretty much going to conclude this review. So if you found this review fun and informative, let me know by hitting that like button in the comments. I do greatly appreciate it. Also, if you are a fan of Transformers items, I do mostly Masterpiece, both third-party and official alike, but every once in a while I do some mainline stuff that I do really enjoy, and we will do that every so often. Consider subscribing to my channel. I do greatly appreciate it and would love to have you along. We are 500 plus strong and growing, so thank you so much to those of you that already subscribed. And that being said, I have been FC Finch. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.